Hello YouTube and welcome back to yet another video. So, this is the follow-up to the video that I just posted. So, on the note of the whole problem with vaping, right? I understand that, yes, there are quote-unquote deaths and health problems that are related to vaping. Here's the deal, okay? And I'm sure if you watch other channels that involve vaping, you will have heard this by now. Let me burst the bubble a little bit here. When these news stations cover stories of people that get sick or wind up dying from vaping, right? They will never tell you in the headline what it was that they were vaping on. So 9 times out of 10, when they wind up sick from vaping, is because they were vaping non-nicotine substances. So they were vaping things like cannabis, right? I'm sure we're all familiar with what that is. Well, here's the problem. There are actually, there are, in the states where it's still illegal, there are people out there that are homemaking these pods and these liquids that have THC and cannabinoids in them. The problem with that is they're not in a safe, clean environment. They are not experienced with it. They don't know what they're doing. So what you wind up with are these harmful substances that can cause things like seizures, coma, stuff of that nature. When in reality, it's not the standard vape, which is nicotine, that is the problem. The problem is these black market marijuana THC problem, the THC marijuana products. Here's what pisses me off, okay? So everyone wants to go on about how it's a big problem for all these people that are vaping, that it's a potential that you could wind up dead or in the hospital with lung problems or in the hospital with heart failure or all this shit. What they don't typically put out there is, yes, that is a possibility, but it is very, very slim if you're not vaping on things that are not, unless you're vaping on something non-nicotine. Here's the deal, okay? Shit's about to get real for y'all. One, I'll be 100% honest with you. I know plenty of people that have vaped for years on straight nicotine vape juice. Have yet to have lung cancer, wind up with a collapsed lung, wind up in the hospital with heart problems, kidney problems, liver problems, any of it. And the ones that did, it was from other causes. So let me level with some people on some shit. Okay? If you're going to put it out there and be 100% honest with yourself, right? You have to consider that it's not these main companies that are putting out mass-produced e-liquid that are causing the problem. It's these underground markets that are producing the THC pods and the cannabis pods and the cannabis liquids and the THC and all this crap, where it's not legal yet, so there aren't bigger companies making them. Because what the difference is these underground markets are all homemade, so you don't know what the list of ingredients is, B, you don't know that it's made in a clean environment, and C, you have no idea if it's actually THC or if it's something else. And speaking of which, I'm going to touch base with some other stuff too later in the video on that note. But for now, I will move on to stating this. It is my personal opinion that, and I said this in the last video, it is my personal opinion that vape is not the problem. The problem is these black market devices and these black market pods and the black market liquids that have THC and cannabinoids in them. Here's the deal. In the States where it's totally recreationally legal, yeah, sure, If you're of age and you have the money to go do it, sure. Have some pot every once in a while. But if you're in a state where it's not legal, but you still want to vape on it, here's a news flash. Realize the risks of doing that. Because it is, when you buy like name brand stuff, that stuff is made in a lab for one, tested in a lab for two, and it is all regulated by the FDA. So the likelihood of you getting a bottle of juice that is going to cause you serious harm is less than that of 0.0001%. And let me clarify something, because I've been hearing it a lot. The main argument that I've been hearing is, oh, well, all these kids are getting all these different flavors. Well, maybe, just maybe, this might be me talking out of my ass here, maybe rather than banning all the like crazy flavored stuff, maybe you should crack down on your security. And what I mean by that is card checks. If you're going to buy it online, provide form of ID through a picture, and provide a picture of yourself, or provide your social security number, or something like that. Here's the problem. It's not, kids aren't walking into vape shops or smoke shops and buying cigarettes or buying vape supplies. They're getting it off of websites like Amazon and eBay and places like that, where you're not required a card check to buy the stuff. And here's what pisses me off about that, right? So everyone wants to go on about how it's this big epidemic and it's this big problem. Here's the deal. Like I said in my last video, I don't give a flying fuck who you are. If you're addicted to nicotine 9 times out of 10 and you can't get a hold of that specific flavor you're looking for, you will move on eventually. You will decide, fuck it, I'm done, I want nicotine, I'm gonna get this tobacco flavored stuff. And you're gonna vape it anyhow. Because you know why? That's addiction. That's how things work. So when I say I'm not talking about the industry as though it's a problem, I'm talking about the way that people purchase things. It's not so much that people purchase them and that they exist that's a problem. It's that the way that they're getting access to it is a problem. Because I've been saying this for a long time. Since the vape market became a big thing, since 2017, I've made the point repetitively. I think for the past 8 months I've been pushing on it hard. Why are there no like security measures? Why are there no needing a form of ID or needing like your social security number, birth certificate, something like that to prove that you're 21 plus years old of age? Why is that not a thing? And I will tell you, from what I've heard, and I know I said this in the last video, but from what I've heard, Dash Vapes has a system in place where you can't purchase anything off of their site unless you have verification of your age, which means either driver's license, ID of some sort, something proving that you're 21 plus years of age. Because, here's the deal, if you do not actually have a card, like a legitimate card, that proves that you're 21 plus years of age, then a picture of your face to match the card, then you're not 21 plus years of age. And that's how I think it should stay. I think that vape shops should stop going off of, oh, well, you look 21 plus, so you're 21 plus. I think vape shops should, two things. One, they should card you at the door to make sure you're 21 plus when you walk in. And then they should card you again when you go to purchase anything, before you purchase anything, and they should card you on the way out. That's how I think it should be, because that would make it near impossible for kids to go in and, oh yeah, I'm just picking it up for my parents, and then they go and use it themselves. If you are not 21 plus years of age, you should not be getting access to vape devices and or vape gear. And here's the fucking deal, okay? Trump's whole idea on, oh, well, let's just ban all the flavored shit. Again, if you're addicted to nicotine and that's your MO, you're not going to give a flying fuck worth of flavors in it. You're gonna be like, oh, well, I need nicotine cessation. So, I will put this message out there. If this should happen to make it to the president's office, think about it like this, okay? All you're doing by banning these flavored vapes is creating an underground market where it's going to be even less safe for people to pick up specific flavors of vape that are not tobacco. So, what are you really doing? Sure, you're banning all these flavors of vape and you're quote unquote cutting down the problem, but are you really? In my opinion, you're not cutting down the problem, and if you are, you're cutting it down to replace it with an even bigger one, which is that then you're going to have this black market where, like the THC ones and the cannabinoid stuff, you're not going to know what goes into your vape juice. And I'll be honest, I think that is fucking retarded, because here's my opinion. I don't think that the flavors are the problem. I think the lack of required verification of age is the problem. So I will say this again, because I said it in my first video. Rather than banning vape flavors, put in place a system that forces age verification. Don't go saying that, oh, well, it's just because it's flavored. It's not true. I don't give a flying fuck who you are. If you have a nicotine addiction and you cannot get a hold of flavored vape, you are going to wind up vaping whatever tobacco you can find that you think is suitable. I don't care who you are, that's just what's going to happen. And I will tell you this too, it is not something that you are going to wind up avoiding, it is something that you are going to wind up doing at some point. Because why? Because, oh yeah, there's this funny little thing, it's called addiction. It works in mysterious ways. Meaning, yeah, sure, ban all you want. People are still going to get a hold of vape products. They're still going to use vape products. It doesn't matter. And by banning all the sweet flavors and the candy flavors and stuff like that, all you're doing is making an underground market for it all, which is going to make it even less safe for people to get a hold of it. So are you really solving the problem? Or are you creating another one that's even bigger and even harder to control? Now, if anyone's interested in more of my content, do remember to subscribe, like, and comment. Do remember to share and turn on the post notifications if you really like my content. You should look at some of the other stuff on my channel. Most of what I do is gaming. I just decided that this topic has me all fired up. I'm going to put something out on it. But the last thing I'm going to say on it is, I don't give a flying fuck who you are. If you have a nicotine addiction and you've decided vaping is better than smoking, which it actually is scientifically proven to be safer for you than smoking, you're gonna fucking get vape liquid and you're gonna use it. Doesn't matter what flavor it is. So let me clarify this. Addiction is addiction is addiction. And if your vice happens to be nicotine, nicotine is nicotine is nicotine. So my point is this. You are not going to stop vaping just by removing the sweeter flavors and the candy flavors and soda flavors and fruit flavors. All you're going to do is create a black market for it all. All you're going to do is create this situation where people are doing these things under the table and illegally, and then it's non-regulated, only Lord knows where they made it. Only Lord knows what went into it. So again, are you really solving the problem, or are you bringing up a whole other mess that's going to be even larger? This is Thunderdome Gaming, signing off. I will say this. Think things through. Because honestly, banning the extra flavored juices is going to just create an underground market for them, because people, the human tendency is, well, I want something, so I'm going to have it. So again, are you really solving the problem or are you making a bigger one?